Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, boys and girls, those from galaxies far, far away and from planets right here on Earth. It doesn't matter if planet of origin, species, race, color, gender, or otherwise pansexuality. All are welcome inside the TARDIS, and it's always been that way. Yes, the time and relative dimension in space has always been a very opening and welcoming blue box, much has been the community and the fellowship that's been around it for literal generations at this point. It's been one of those things where nobody really balked any kind of idea about Jack Harkness being this guy from the future who basically slept with absolutely everything because, hey, that's how things end up in about 10,000 years when you meet a bunch of different alien species. Things kind of get weird. It happens. I mean, come on, boys and girls. You've seen some of the stuff that's out there on the internet. Come on, tentacles, do I need to say more? So seriously, that kind of stuff isn't really all that much of a surprising, and nobody had a problem with it, especially in the mid-2000s and the late 2000s when a lot of this kind of stuff wasn't driven by agenda. It was driven just by a general people. Hey, these people exist, they're here, and that's not the only thing they're all about. Jack was a smooth-talking, womanizer, ladies' man. I mean, the guy would literally hit on everything. Absolutely one fan favorite character. Everybody loved Jack Harkness. Captain Jack was great. I'm a big fan of the Torchwood show. We're actually doing a review right now at 7 p.m. on Sundays. When Who was good, going back and washing out the nasty taste in our mouth from all the modern things that are going on and going back and enjoying some of our favorite episodes. And one of the things that we're watching is Torchwood to go along with the season 4 finale that's coming up here very shortly. So come in, join us on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. where Mr. Grant Gregory and our dear sweet friend Sunker Maiden review When Who was good. It's a really good time. But boys and girls, you know when Who isn't good is when the ratings continue to decline because current modern Disney Doctor Who, Disney Neo Doctor Who is literally broken records for the lowest viewed episodes in the history of the television show. And after a very slight bump with a story that was specifically about nothing more than Ruby Sunday, the current Doctor's companion, our dear sweet Ncuti Gatwa, well, guess what, boys and girls? Things are right back down in the toilet, and color us shocked there. Because after a single episode spike, Doctor Who ratings back in the dirt and on the decline. And for those of us out there that had hope that Russell T Davies was going to come in and restore things to its proper space inside of the Doctor Who universe after all of the abysmal abominations that Chris Chibnall had done, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think the very first episode we saw with David Tennant and how he was treated in that episode should have told us that this was going to be nothing more than another Disney-driven agenda show, and be damned all of the Who fans and be damned everything that came before, and that's exactly what we've gotten every single episode since. So color us shocked there that the viewers have checked out. And guess what, boys and girls? We're trying to make shame great again over here on this channel. Disney, Russell T Davies, and everyone else responsible for the absolute abomination that they have turned Disney Neo Doctor Who into deserves to be shamed, laughed, and ridiculed at it. And that's exactly what we're going to do here, boys and girls. So we're going to get into this article from Bounty and Comics, getting you all the juicy details, and shame these people back into oblivion. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, subscribe, and or follow if you have not already. And whether you're watching live or watching this on the video replay later, leave us a comment down below and let us know. Are you still watching Doctor Who? Do these numbers surprise you in any way, shape, or form? Are you one of those insane psychopaths like me out there that trying to review this stuff just to be able to suffer for it for all of you guys so that you don't have to, but so I can come in as an informed position when I actually roast this stuff? Let me know about all of that down in the comments below or on the live stream if you're watching live. Bounding into comics. Shout out to our dear friend Spencer Bakuli. Despite the ostensible hopes of Disney, the BBC, and Russell T Davies, and the hundreds of millions of dollars they spent on this, a sudden spike in the viewership numbers for Doctor Who has proven itself to be a one-episode phenomenon rather than the start of a genuine ratings recovery. Premiering on May 25th, the 4th episode of the 15th Doctor's first proper outing, 73 Yards, currently holds the title of Best Performing Episode of the Season. Not really a crown you want to hold up high considering the rest of the season. Having pulled in a total of 2.62 million and 4.058 million viewers in the first 24 hours and 7 days respectively after its premiere, because of course BBC gives us numbers the next day. Having come on the heels of the franchise low overnight ratings of the season's 3rd episode, boom, many among the series' few remaining fans took this rating sign as a potential sign that the series' new progressive direction was finally catching on. However, these hopes would soon be dashed just the next week with the premiere of Dot and Bubble, as rather than exceeding or matching the success of its predecessor, the episode posted the substantially lower numbers of 2.12 million overnight and 3.38 million consolidated. Once again, proving the old adage of go woke, go broke is absolutely accurate and not just a talking point once again. And instead of bouncing back, the series ratings only fell further in the Doctor's next adventure, Rogue, which saw an overnight viewership of just 2.11 million viewers. As of writing, the episode's 7-day consolidated numbers have yet to be reported, though they're likely to be just as abysmal. Because, of course, if the start's going to start like this and the finish always ends up saying the same way, history doesn't just repeat itself, boys and girls. It also rhymes. Notably, despite all the previous bravado seen from both himself and the series' cast, the Doctor Who's new, more progressive and political soapboxy direction would bring in more fans than it pushed away. These low numbers have forced showrunner Russell T Davies to admit that this writing is currently missing the mark with audiences. As related to the public, courtesy of the franchise's specific news outlet, Doctor Who TV, asked during the recent interview with the physical July issue of the UK entertainment news magazine Radio Times if he had any thoughts of these abysmal numbers, Davies asserted, "I'm very proud of it. You know, they might not be the ratings we'd love, we always want higher, but they're building over the 28-day period. Episode 1, Space Baby, is already up to 5.6 million and counting, so it's getting there." Obvious cope, obvious gaslighting. He knows how bad things actually are. The next episode of Doctor Who, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, will kick off the season's 2-part finale on June 15th. Oh, thank God. To this end, as confirmed by Davies himself, whether or not the overall series continues on after its upcoming season finale is set to air next week is still up in the air. And my understanding is that season 2 has already been finished filming. And so, yes, we will get another season after this, unfortunately. But considering the fact the way Disney's been cutting back on things and the way things Disney has been, you know, Bob Iger's already admitted that they're going to cut back on Marvel, that they're going to cut back on Star Wars. And I mean, if those are their two biggest franchises as of right now, a little bitty IP like Doctor Who they spent hundreds of millions of dollars on, who is not even charting on the Nielsen ratings, Samba isn't even reporting the numbers. Boys and girls, at a time when a company that is looking at the face of drastic amounts of cutbacks because they have lost billions of dollars over the last few years. I mean, literally, I hate to say the word bankruptcy, but I mean, they're not going to look at that because of all the stuff that they could sell off before that would actually happen. But they are broke, boys and girls. Disney is broke. And an expensive show like this and the amount of money they have already spent it in to only have continuing declining viewership. Ladies and gentlemen, you might get one more abysmal season of Disney Neo Doctor Who. But after that, I'd imagine it's going to end up just like Willow and just like so many other projects over at Disney. Shh, quietly, they will never, ever speak of it again. It'll just be on hiatus or been indefinite development, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's exactly what they deserve, because these numbers are nothing more than shame cast upon Russell T Davies, Bob Iger, and everybody over involved at Disney Doctor Who, and it's exactly what they deserve, to be shamed, boys and girls, because they have done this intentionally. Russell T Davies said it many times in many interviews that this is exactly was his point from the very beginning, and we know all about Disney's not-so-secret gay agenda. So color a shock there, boys and girls. Real Whovians want no part of this nonsense, and everything Disney touches turns to dust. And no time and dimension, relative dimension in space is going to save it, boys and girls. There will be no doctor to come and save Disney Doctor Who from itself, and it's exactly what they deserve. Russell T Davies, be shamed, because you have failed.